morning, sweet friends. We are so overdue for a walk and talk. This was the last time that we called, and I was telling you about how my composition professor kind of staged an intervention for me because I I didn't start with a music theory background, so it's all very new to me. And I really struggle with handwriting out music and holding music in my head and my imagination that way. I lean on MuseScore and the sound systems. But he was like, look, you can't run away from a lesson forever. He was like, you're talented and you've got this strong connection to music, but if you keep leaning on your talent, wait a year, and you will run into walls that you can't break. You have to learn. You also have to learn how to love this thing. This is what I love about Memphis. We are a 5-minute walk from a bustling metropolis, but there are just so many little forgotten corners everywhere. Another thing I love about Memphis is the red clover is shriveled up in so many places because of the extreme heat. But here, it is not. It's a whole field of it, which is crazy. Anyway, dude, I'm not gonna pretend that didn't take me some long months to stomach. Because I was like, okay, I'm good at writing music the way I write music. If I start doing this handwritten bullshit, A, there's no guarantee that it'll work, and B, I'm gonna write bad music. But I finally sucked it up like a man, and I'm 2 months in now, and it's starting to happen for me. I'm starting to see sheet music, and I'm starting to be able to piece 4 or 5 parts together in my head and hold it there, and it's really exciting. I didn't think it would ever happen. It's silly because I'm a composer, so I know this is some bullshit, but I still kind of held on to that notion that in order to be a composer, in order to be able to write things out by hand and hold that, you have to be some kind of genius. But that's not true. It's just another language. It feels like when I was learning Spanish and I knew all the individual words, but I couldn't piece them all together right, and so I had to just sit there and translate each one out to the English word, and then be oh, that's what that means when I was talking to somebody, and it was really slow. And not that I'm fluent now by any means, but this feels like that moment where it switched, where I could listen in Spanish. It's a super exciting feeling. About to be corny, which I know is no surprise, and I know that you still love me, but I'm sorry. But that's also all about kindness, right? Okay, I know that I'm about to say a lot of things that are very obvious, and you'll be but I feel like you have to be a person in order to internalize these things and be oh, okay, that's what it meant. Really just the idea, I'm sorry, I'm talking in circles here, but really just the idea that the truth that kindness is something you also learn. It's also a language. It's a language, and it's a tool, and it occurs when you're brave enough to I think break through these series of dams, of barriers, of fears, in order to get to the other side of oh, I can be this human. Does that make any sense? I don't remember if I've told you about Mitchell. I feel like I probably have. But one of my first dams broke when I met him in October, and we were at Otherlands getting coffee, and he was interviewing me. There's a truck. I wonder if I'm not supposed to be here. So I'm going to, oh, it is stopping. Ooh, fucking sucked. Nothing like a full send sprint to wake you up in the morning. Drawing train tracks too is hard because of the rocks. Anyway, but yeah, I met him, and within the first 20 minutes of having met him, this guy approached us and asked for money for the homeless shelter at our table. And at the time, I would have given him the money, but I would have been hesitant, and I would have been entertaining all of those thoughts about like, oh, you know, you're silly for giving money away, for not knowing exactly where it's going. And Mitchell was just like, yeah, of course, and just treated him with this remarkable warmth. And that was when my first dam broke. That was when my first, like, oh, I can be this kind moment was. And that's not to say that, like, I wasn't kind before this year, because I was. Because, my mom raised me with a lot of care and love, and I, like, learned by example how to, you know, look for people's humanity. But it was just, before this year, I feel like I wasn't really, like, learning. I was, you know, if you don't mind the tie back, relying on my talent of goodness, but not really putting much effort into growth. So I had, like, a lot of help along the way. I had Mitchell, and then another dam broke when I was on the phone with Harvey, and I think I told you about with Anna. She's that lady that I've been helping out for a couple months. I met her outside Kroger, and because Kyrie was on the phone, because Kyrie heard her asking, and also just was like offered up this immediate warmth from the phone, but that's her. Then we like drove around and like got food, and then we connected, and you know, if it weren't for Kyrie, I may have just given her some money, given her a ride, and then that would have been it. Then I would have moved on. You know, now that I am writing by hand, I can finally start to mess with microtones. So I'm writing now my tuba euphonium commission with microtones in some parts. And last night I dreamed of microtones, like all night, just these melodies and like pieces of paper with them written on them kept showing up, and I just feel like I'm paying attention to that now. It's all about being immersed in the world. It's just about seeing. It's about being here. It's about being alive. Music and kindness are byproducts of that. And holy shit, dude. I cannot believe this happened today. First pokeberries of the fucking season, and they're pigmented. Okay, I'm about to be beautiful. Get this. Okay. Wait for it. Wait for it. Holy shit. Yup. Yup. So, what this all comes to, it feels like everything comes to recently, because in many ways it does. I made 2 friends in Gaza. 3 friends. Mervat is my new friend. I've only known her for about a week. I want to tell you, like, everything about them. I can't boil these people down into something where you'll be like, oh, yes, I see why you love them so much. But, like, Ahmed, we're, like, capital F friends. Like, I've complained to him about my love life. Jokes that when the war is over, he's gonna fly to America and marry me so he can stay. And he loves soccer and his little siblings and his mom. He lost his dad, but he loves his dad too. And Bara, so fucking cool. Genetic engineer, doctor. She worked on like a bunch of really big humanitarian projects. She doesn't really talk about it. She's very humble, but she did. I stalked her Instagram. And she's a mother, and she loves music. Her favorite artist is Fairuz. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but Fairuz, who I love, who I've been listening to since she put me on her, and she's got baby boy Yusuf, who looks like her.
I don't know as much about Mervat because she's a new friend, but she seems really, really sweet so far. She's got a beautiful daughter, and she's very hopeful. My life has not been easier since that dam broke. But your life being easier is not the answer, right? Like, we don't look for answers just because we want things to be easy.
I'll drop the pretense. I made this video because I'm fucking terrified. The chances that my friends, all of my friends, will make it out alive is low. I know that. I've known that from the beginning. And that's why it was so hard to become friends with them, because it was like, holy shit, I have been, intentionally or unintentionally, it was a choice. I have been allowing this situation to exist as an abstract to me to avoid the pain of caring, but now my friends are alive. And while I can try to keep that the case, I'm gonna try everything I can, and I'm not good at being an influencer. I'm really trying to learn how to be good at TikTok and Instagram to get people to like give a shit about Bara and Ahmed and Mervat. But what I am good at is talking to my friends and talking to people that I believe are good. And it's ironic, but since I started talking to Bara and Ahmed and Mervat, their hopefulness has made me really like start to believe that more people are good than I gave people credit for, even just before this. And that's just another gift among the plethora of things that they have given me. I am fully aware that the chances that this goes viral and saves my friends is really, really, really low. But it's never corny or foolish to be hopeful. It is the only antidote for things like this. And that is not a new thought because it's been true for a very long time. And the chances that somebody sees this and listens to this are there. So if you're listening, thank you for listening. Thank you. And this is just in case nobody has said this to you yet. You do not have to turn your life around in one day, or in 1 year, even in a decade. You do not have to change everything to prove that you are good. You are already good. You have kindness inside you, and you have love inside you, and that is beautiful, and you are beautiful. And you do not have to feel guilty for not having done everything you can yet. I haven't done anything close to everything I can. And I still love myself a whole fucking lot. Because inherently, there are things to love. And because you are beautiful, because you are human, you get to decide how kind you are and how much love you give out. And by God, I hope you donate to my friends. I've got the GoFundMe's linked below. I've got their PayPal's linked below. The PayPal's help them buy food and water. The GoFundMe's are so they can get out. Please do that, please. That is the point of this. But also the point of this is like, I don't want anybody to leave this video feeling like a bad person. You're not a bad person. You have to grow, because that's what we have to do. But that does not make you bad.